So now we're going to do a worded problem on volume. Okay, and this one is pretty tricky because there's a couple of steps involved. So a cylindrical tank that has a radius of 3 meters and a length of 17 meters empties water at a rate of 200 liters per minute. How many minutes will it take to empty to the nearest minute? Okay, so personally, I always like to draw things before I get started. It helps me to understand how I'm going to approach a particular problem. So I'm going to draw this cylindrical tank. Okay, so I've just drawn a picture that represents what's going on in our worded story here. So I've got a cylindrical tank, it's got a radius of 3 meters, it's 17 meters long, and it empties at a rate of 200 liters per minute. Okay, and my answer, I'm looking for how many minutes it will take. But before we can get started trying to figure out anything to do with minutes, I first need to figure out how much space is actually in that tank. How much water is going to be able to fit in there. But before I can figure out how much water is going to fit in there, I need to figure out the actual space in meters or meters cubed. All right, so first thing is I'm going to try and calculate the volume of this shape. So as always, start with our formula. Volume is equal to pi times r squared times h. Okay, so I've got my formula. I'm going to put in whatever values I have to be able to calculate the volume. So volume equals pi times 3 squared times 17. Okay, I get my handy dandy calculator out. Pi times 3 squared times 17 gives me 480.6636676. Okay, now that is in meters cubed because it's a 3D shape and I've just calculated the volume. Okay, so that is the space that's actually inside the tank, so the available space. But I'm looking for liters per minute, so this is in meters, not liters. So I need to now figure out how many liters will fit in here. Okay, so in order to figure out how many liters will fit in here, the conversion is 1 meter cubed is equal to 1,000 liters. Okay, that's our conversion. I don't expect you to remember that off the top of your head, but for every 1 meter cubed, there's 1,000 liters in there. So essentially what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be multiplying this by 1,000, because for every one of these, there's 1,000 liters. Okay, so now I'm going to be changing colors. So 480.6636676 times 1,000, and I get 663.673 liters. Okay, so now this is how many liters will fit inside this tank. All right, but I can't stop there. I'm not quite done. I still have to figure out how long it'll take to empty. I figured out the space inside in meters cubed. I figured out how many liters that is, but now I've got to figure out how fast it'll empty. Okay, so let me go back to blue. So now it tells me that it empties at a rate of 200 liters per minute. So that's 200 liters every 1 minute. So I'm going to write that like this, 200 liters for every 1 minute. Okay, and now this is how many liters I have. So 480.663.673 liters. And I've got to figure out how many minutes that will take. So just like with rates and ratios, the topic rates and ratios, I need to figure out how you go from 200 to this 480,000, so on and so forth. Now, because my number is getting bigger, it has to have been multiplied by something. But what? What has it been multiplied by? How am I going to find out what you multiplied this by to get this? All I'm going to do is sort of work it in reverse. I'm going to go, this giant number divided by this one will tell me the multiplier. So I'm going to get out my calculator. And then I'm going to divide it by 200. And it gives me a multiplier of 2403.31838. Okay, so that's what if you take 200 and you times it by this giant number, you get this monstrosity. Okay, so if this side has been multiplied by that multiplier, I'm going to do the same over here. So here I'm going to times by 2403.31838. Ugh, all right, almost there. Okay, now I'm looking for how many minutes it's going to take. So 1 times this actually gives me that. So 2403.31838. So that's actually our answer. But you'll notice it says to the nearest minute. So I can drop off all these decimals because 3 rounds down. So it's actually 2403 minutes. So that's how long it would take to empty this giant tank. So to recap, if you're ever faced with a horrifying question like this, there are 3 steps to this question. First, find the volume. How many meters squared is your tank going to hold? Then, find out how many liters will fit inside that space by multiplying by 1,000, because every 1 meter cubed is 1,000 liters. So you multiply your volume by 1,000. Then you look at the rate, like the converting the rates and ratio part. So you put your original rate on top, your new liters information on the bottom, you figure out the multiplier. So you're essentially just going giant number divided by the little number equals this. Then you're timesing the other side by that multiplier. And that will give you your final answer. Don't forget, round to whatever is specified in the question. But that's how we do it. Anyway, thank you for watching.